Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the All-American Savage Show podcast. I am your host, John Burke, with my beautiful, bearded, heterosexual Jewish life partner, Josh, over there operating those controls like a DOJ spy sitting in the van outside of Gavin McGinnis's house right now.
Ready to pounce.
Ready to pounce.
Maybe.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. It is Monday. It's Monday. We're back. New week. A lot of news. Bro, not looking good for the EU. Not looking good for the EU at all. I was scrolling my Twitter. Before we get into that.
Is that what you kids are calling it nowadays?
That or TikTok. Oh, my God. Well, number one, thanks for tuning into the last episode where Josh and I did it baked out of our heads. What do we think, chat? Did we like that? Did we enjoy that? Did people appreciate that? I'm not going to lie. That was fun to do. It was fun to do, and I felt insanely guilty because it's like being high during the workday, doing a podcast. Like that just, it feels wrong, but it felt so right.
I don't know if it was fun for anybody else.
It was fun for us. Like I thought, like I couldn't stop laughing. We had some, because I went back and I listened to it. We had some pretty good ideas. I mean, political gladiators. I mean, come on now. That'd be great. That'd be great.
I think you're onto something, there, buddy.
Could be it.
I think you're onto something.
Well, hey, if you're watching this on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, do me a favor, hit that share button to help us grow this channel, grow this podcast. We appreciate that. Hey, for those that don't know, Valor Episode 2 dropped on SoundCloud. It is now available on Google Podcasts. Still waiting to get it approved on iTunes, but Valor Episode 2 is now live. SoundCloud primarily, and the episode title is The Man Who Killed a General. If you haven't listened to it, it's a really great episode. I enjoyed doing it. I got a lot of great feedback on social media. A couple of my friends actually DM'd me saying, one friend of mine, she was like, my husband and I sat out back Friday or Saturday and had a little fire going, and we listened to that podcast. They said it was just really relaxing. It was chill. I was like, that's awesome to hear. It's awesome to hear stuff like that. So again, you can check that out. Again, it's the Valor Podcast, and don't forget we're also streaming on Rumble. But how was your weekend?
It's good.
It's good.
Pretty standard.
Chill.
Just living the dream, buddy.
Living the dream. Nothing special about mine either. Chill podcast chill podcast. Chill weekend. Relaxed. Okay. This is gonna make me sound incredibly douchey, but let me explain. Let me explain first and foremost why I did this, okay? I hired a housekeeper. Okay, that sounds douchey. I know. I don't care. Here's the thing. I've hired her to come in once a month and deep clean the house, and she was only charging me $120. I was like, yes, absolutely. She cleans the basement. It's her and her crew.
Yeah.
You know, your brother does the same thing. Mm-hmm. She cleans the baseboards. Yeah. She doesn't do laundry because that's what I need help doing. I didn't even realize I had a laundry room floor. Like, I'm not ashamed to admit this. This sounds so ridiculous. As a former drill sergeant and Army guy, you would think that I'm sitting there making my bed like hospital court. Like, no.
You know, you would think so.
Nope. And that's where people get it wrong. It's the opposite because we did it for so long.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe I'm wrong on this because I remember my grandfather was a World War II veteran, Silver Star recipient, fought in World War II, all over the place. To the day he died, he was up at 4:30 in the morning every day. And people respect us like, yeah, he was in the Army. My generation's like, I don't get up till the crack of noon. Why? Because I did it at 4:30 for 13 freaking years. I'm not doing that again. So there's a difference there. I get that. But again, to my original point, you would think I'd be like, dress right, no. Like, I keep my house clean, don't get me wrong. Laundry, I hate doing laundry. So I will literally throw a load in, your mom, and I will throw a load in, put it in the dryer, and then immediately put it in the hamper right there in the clean laundry hamper. And I will just go in there every day, grab a shirt, grab my gym shit, and be done. I don't fold it. I'm horrible about that, and I don't care. Because I don't, now, my nicer stuff, yes, I hang it. My suits, my dress shirts, yes.
Dry cleaned.
Yeah, but if it's like my jeans and my t-shirts to come for here, like, no, absolutely, because I don't give a fuck about you. I'm not trying to impress you. I've already fucked you, so we're good. Yeah. I'm not trying to do any of that. But am I the only one that does that? Well, yeah. you have a family. That's different. You got to set a standard, you know.
Yeah, you know, it really is. You got to do laundry, you got to cook, you got to clean, you got to pick up after the kid. Like man, these toys, they're everywhere. But yeah, so I hired her. She doesn't do laundry, but bro, she came in and for 6 hours, she cleaned. For $120?
$120 for 6 hours.
That's like $1
an
hour.
I actually paid her $200 because I was like, hey, you did an amazing job.
Well, you got a tip.
Well, not just that. It's that I want her to remember that I paid over what she was asking, so that way she'll make sure to pay special attention. Like when I ask, like, hey, are you free this date? She'll make me a priority because you pay more. It's the same in any restaurant you go to. This is the same thing. When I see people in the chat, it seems like there's a lot of veterans that are saying the exact same thing. It's like, yeah, bro, I do the same thing. Good. Now I don't feel bad. Like I didn't at first. And my girlfriend was kind of like, you leave your stuff on the floor? It's like, I didn't even know you had a laundry room floor. It's like, yeah, but now you're doing laundry at my house too. And guess where your shit's going? On the floor. I'm just saying. But no, it's like, any Mexican restaurant I go, or there's one Mexican restaurant I go to that's close to my house, I always make sure, like even if it's like a $30 meal, I'm leaving like at least a $30 tip. And the reason for that, it's not to be douchey, it's that every time I go in there, they know automatically, they come right to me and they know they know what my drink order is, and as soon as I come in, they don't even come to me, they just bring it to me. And I love that.
Yeah.
I don't mind tipping for that you get better service, way better service. Now, granted, you can't be like that everywhere you go. There are some, like I definitely don't do that at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Yeah. I leave good tips, but not that good. I think, didn't tips used to be like 10%?
15.
Is it 15? I thought it was 10.
Now, I went to 15, then 18, and now it's like 18 to 25%.
Now I got a bone to pick here, and I'm gonna piss a lot of people off, but this is something that needs to be addressed. Why are we tipping people for just doing their job? And what I'm talking about is being a cashier.
Oh, I know, like Smoothie King. I'm like, what is Smoothie King? Or
why am I tipping you for just ringing me up? You didn't do anything extra. You're not a waitress. Like and here's the thing. I don't even think that waitresses should get paid that. They should get paid normal prices and make tips. That seems fair to me. But I get the same token of your tippage depends on your service. I get that. But at the same token, we tip for everything, and it's gotten insane. It's gotten stupid. And the thing is, I kind of feel bad, and I got to stop doing that. Like, I'll go to a grocery store sometime. Now, I'm being facetious here, but even a grocery store, I was like, hey, I ring out your groceries. It's like, yeah, but you get paid to do that. What's the tip for? Like, this is what I don't get. Like, America has become a very tip-based country, and we need to stop it. Tips should go to those that get paid way less because their service depends on the tip amount. I understand that. But if you're already making minimum wage or above for your job, and your job does not require you to do anything outside that scope, and it's not dependent upon how you treat someone, then why am I tipping you? Again, if you're a cashier at Starbucks and you're not even the one making my coffee, why the fuck am I tipping you? That doesn't make sense. And then the other part of it is, if you're a barista and you're getting paid regularly anyway, why am I tipping there?
Yeah, I'm not tipping at Starbucks or Smoothie King or those.
See,
places.
I do. I kind of leave like $1 or $2. And then they hit you. Like, I hate going to PetSmart. Because I'll go in there and I'll go to checkout and I'm buying Athena's food. I buy her a toy or something like that. Would you like to spend $5 and save a pet? And it's like, you feel guilty. It's like, well, of course I want to do that. But at the same time, it's like, wait, where's this money going?
Yeah, I don't know where it's going.
I don't know where it's, and it's like, no. And then you feel bad. It's like, you motherfuckers, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
Just say not today.
It's just
got
ridiculous.
hit with the Cub Scouts trying to get me to buy some popcorn.
Oh, those people are evil. But the problem is, their stuff's good. Guys. No, their stuff's good.
I'm not a big popcorn
fan. Thin Mints. I'm talking about the cookies.
You're thinking Girl Scouts.
Oh yeah, those. Oh man, those.
Even
cookies,
still,
those cookies are amazing. Oh, and you freeze them. The Thin Mints that you freeze, and everybody I know, dude, I'm gonna hear it in the comments. Oh, it's the Samoas or the Momoa, whatever they're Jason Momoa cookies. I don't know. The Samoans or whatever they're called. I forget what it is. But the coconut, and they taste horrible. But everybody rants and raves about it. It's like, no, the Thin Mints are where it's at. The Thin Mints are where it's at.
They're all good.
They're not. No, they're not. No.
I like to take them and put them in a spoon, and then I'll light it on fire, then melt it down. I'll get one of those needles and suck it up.
Oh my god! And somebody made a good
point.
Give
me a nice rubber band, put it around my.
Somebody made a good point in the YouTube chat. It's like, I'd be very interested. It's like, when PetSmart hits me with that, it's like, hey, what are you donating as an organization? Why are you relying upon me? I'm promoting your business. Or I'm supporting your business. What are you doing?
That's what I wonder too.
It's like, you can take this out of the profits I just paid into this thing that you probably marked up at least 60%. So you can take some of that profit if you give a fuck so much and donate it to that cause. That's a good point. I never thought about that. We're getting milked left and right, and not in a good way.
Those people at the cash register, they don't care.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
They just have to ask, I'm sure.
Yeah, but
you're not going to hurt their feelings.
No, and half. I mean, it's like a teenager. They don't know
Like,
what the fuck's
what
going
the-
on. What are you talking about?
What do you
sir?
mean you're not going to do? You want animals to die?
Exactly. It's like
Scumbag.
Really? So you could adopt all the? I don't give a fuck about them. Like, what do you want me to do? I'll be honest with it. And that's what I hate about people. It's like they don't want to have that honest conversation. It's like, hey, can we just admit that the world's responsibilities are not ours? So if there's a bunch of stray dogs in Africa, I really don't give a shit. It's not my problem. Sorry, I've got enough problems to deal with. That's just the way it goes.
Solving the hunger issue.
Eat the dogs.
Eat the dogs.
That's what we need to do. We need to get these organizations cross-talking. Say,
Yeah.
hey, feed a starving child in Africa. Hey, y'all need to go talk to PetSmart because apparently there's a lot of starving dogs over there. Feed them the dogs, and then problem solved.
Boom.
You get rid of the stray dogs, and you free the starving kids. I mean, bro.
Win-win.
Win-win. I should run for office in Africa.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, my God. But, yeah, she cleaned the house. She did an amazing job. Oh, and it smells so good. Smells
She's
so
fabuloso?
good. Oh, she's fabulous. And she's Mexican, yeah.
No, I mean, it's the cleaner. That's my favorite. It's got the
I don't even know what
best.
that. No, but she's
You
like
don't know
she's
what the
full blown
cleaner is?
Mexican because
Oh.
I would sit there. I was in and out getting my haircut and stuff, and I'd hear her speaking Spanish to Athena because she loves Athena. She's like, "Oh, her eyes are so beautiful," and then she'd be like, just speaking Spanish to her, and Athena's just loving it, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, "Huh,
She does
120 bucks, 120 bucks, like that's incredible." And the thing is, like, she is drastically undercharging.
Really?
It's like, lady, you could charge way more. You should be charging way more. Now, I get that you want to undercut your competition, but you don't want to make it so cheap that people think you have a shitty product.
Yeah.
That's what we do for Shell Shock. Like, we wanted to bring our margins way down, but not to the point where it's like, okay, this must be a shit product because you get what you pay for. So with her, it was incredible. Dude, she cleaned everything. Like, move the dressers out, clean behind the dressers, pick the shit up off the dresser, wipe the dresser down. I was like, Jesus. Like,
That's a normal cleaning.
she was. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I never do it.
Wipe it.
It's dust.
Wipe the dresser off.
If there's dust on, that's all you're getting from me. I just blow on it.
Put the vacuum cleaner on the carpet. I was like, what the heck?
Is that what that's for? Shit. I've been doing it wrong this entire time. So, yeah. And then she saw Daisy, my ferret, and she was like, Daisy's got such a crazy personality. Daisy will chase you, and she loves doing that.
yeah,
She loves
they're cute
chasing
as
and
hell.
playing hide and seek. Like, oh my God. She drugged my girlfriend's scrubs under the dresser, her scrub bottoms. We couldn't find them for a week. And I was under there cleaning, and I looked, and I was like, son of a bitch, these things are bigger than she is. How did she get them under there? She drug my iPod or my earphones, my iPhones, whatever they're called, or the AirPods.
Yeah.
She drugged them. She has a spot under the dryer, the pull-out drawer, because I have one of the dryers that has the drawers under it. She drug it in there. So it was like a month I'm missing these motherfuckers. And I looked at track and it says it's in the house. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I finally pull out the drawer one day. It's like, son of a bitch. There was like all kinds of shit in there. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, she did an amazing job. The house is spotless. I told her, it's like, hey, 2 weeks, come back. I'll pay you again. I'm all about it.
I'll pay.
I'll do it again. Like, absolutely. She's incredible. Like, her and her helper, they killed. She washed the shower door, got rid of all the, what's that called? Where it's dried.
Jizz.
Yeah, that too. The shower scum or whatever, but it like coats your shower door. You're making me sound like a real pervert over there, even though I am. I'm not that dirty. Good Lord. She cleaned all that.
Oh, John, I'm sorry. I broke your sock.
Son of a
Snapped
bitch.
right in half.
Mildew? Is that really mildew? I don't know what it is. Wait, Shatona says, I knew one girl who made $700 in 8 hours. Fuck, she must be amazing. $700 was it like a company? Or was it her by herself? There's no way she did that by herself. That or she's cleaning some rich people. Soap scum, thank you. It's called DNA.
It's called DNA.
I could impregnate an entire village with all the shit that I have. No, I'm just playing. Zinc shot states. You can tell who the veterans in the chat are. Oh my God. But that was this weekend. And then tango class. Did that for 4 hours. My feet were killing me, which shout out to our Shell Shock product. Yeah, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, we are sponsored by Shell Shock CBD. That's our company. The topical thunder, bro, rubbed it all over my feet, felt within 10 minutes, the pain was gone. Love it.
I tell you, that stuff is amazing.
It is amazing. Look, if you've got somebody up there that maybe has muscle aches and pains, arthritis, go read our Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. And as those people know, is it Google reviews that we can't manipulate?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't manipulate that. What they post is what they post. You can go see it. You can go see it for yourself and read those reviews, folks.
There's a couple haters on there that
Oh, absolutely, because they know the
one
podcast.
starred us.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Because You see why. It's like, oh, fucking hate John Burke. I was like, well, thank you for putting that in there because now people see that you're just biased. You don't give a shit about the products. But we actually have a lot of great reviews. And if you want to do us a favor, go leave us some great reviews on Google for the Shell Shock. We really appreciate that. Yeah, so it's incredible. We've had so many people try it for arthritis, delayed onset muscle soreness, all kinds of stuff. It's CBD and menthol. It's not going to leave you smelling like you got gangbanged by a carton of cigarettes or menthol cigarettes. It's you smell the menthol, but for those that don't know, menthol has been used since the beginning of time.
It's good
to help with skin irritation. It opens up the pores, and the CBD just goes in and just does wonders. So give it a shot. Again, code Burke will save you 10%. Give it a go, and if you like it, that's awesome. And if not, hey, you tried it. But again, I want you to be a customer for life. And that's why we put our full support behind these products. And don't forget, all of our gummies come with a money-back guarantee.
Yeah, I'm excited about our new 50 milligram Delta 8 gummies.
People ain't gonna be able to handle that.
Just same as the Great Dark Matter.
Yep.
But just gummy form.
Dark Matter gummies.
Oh man, these things are
50 milligrams of pop.
50 milligrams.
Whew.
They're good.
That's gonna be rough.
They look good too, man.
They're gonna put them on the moon.
They look good. Oh yeah.
They're gonna put them on the moon.
Right.
But yeah, that was this weekend. What do we got coming up? We got the tattoo cream, CBD tattoo cream coming out very soon. We're working on that. It's going to help restore the tattoos. It's great. For those that don't know, go look it up on your own just so you can see for yourself what CBD does for skin. It's wonderful for eczema. Go check it out. No, it does not cure cancer. Go look up the studies for yourself. Don't take my word for it. And if you look it up and you see it, you believe it, give us a shot. We got the tattoo gummies. Eat a gummy, get a tattoo. Well, you'll get so high you'll want to get a tattoo. But no, we got the tattoo cream coming, and then we got the 50 milligram gummies coming. And we got a special John Ross product coming out. Yeah. That's a Shell Shock product. That should be fun. So, but all right.
It's all good stuff.
It's all great stuff. And we appreciate your support over there. And yeah. Okay. Well, did you find that clip of Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. Trump's going to play. Josh's going to play a clip of when Trump was talking to I think it was the German chancellor. I forget who it was.
It was at the UN.
The UN. Okay. Yeah. And Trump is basically telling them to get off of, and this is back in 2018, 2019.
I think it was 2018.
And in this clip, you can see them clearly laughing at Trump, but listen to what Trump has to say.
Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course. Here in the Western Hemisphere, we are committed to maintaining our independence from the encroachment of expansionist foreign powers. It has been the formal policy of our country since President Monroe.
And you can see them laughing at Trump while he's saying this. Now, breaking news was not breaking, but this just launched. Look at this article right here coming from CNN Business. European power prices shatter records as energy crisis intensifies. Power prices in Europe continue to smash records, intensifying the region's energy crisis and fanning fears about access to electricity and heating as the weather begins to cool. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. Now, here's the thing. I don't know how this is going to affect the U.S. economy. It does have me a little worried here. But German power prices for next year, which are considered Europe's benchmark, briefly jumped above 1,000 per megawatt on Monday before falling back down to €840, 839.69 per megawatt hour. This is not normal at all. It is incredibly volatile, said Fabian Ronigen, a senior analyst at Rystad Energy. These prices are reaching levels now that we thought we would never see. Prices have jumped since Russia's Gazprom announced that it would shut down the Nord Stream 1 gas pipeline for 3 days starting Wednesday to perform maintenance work, reigniting fears that Moscow could completely shut off gas to Europe, which is racing to stockpile supplies ahead of winter. You know for a fact, Russia's not shutting down for maintenance. Russia's shutting down for 3 days to send a fucking warning. That's what they're doing. Guarantee you that. And it's got, look what, in 3 days, what it did to the prices. Holy cow. Grizzly in chat on Twitch says he's paying over $200 for electricity. I've never paid. Dude, bro, $350 here. Yeah. $350. And I don't even touch my stuff. My house stays about like a 70, 69. Lights are off. Don't have a lot. I'm not pulling a lot. And $350. What the hell? What the hell? I'm at a loss. Now, again, everything in this world affects something in a different part. So what's going on with these power prices over in Germany? I don't know how that's going to affect America. I don't know if it's connected somehow. Has me a little nervous. When the crucial pipeline went offline for repairs for 10 days in July, many policymakers feared it wouldn't come back. When Russia did restart operations, flows were significantly reduced. Jesus. France's nuclear sector, which provides about 70% of the country's electricity, is also struggling with lower output, pushing up the country's energy prices. The Czech Republic announced Monday that it would convene an emergency meeting of Europe's energy ministers in Brussels next week as the region hunts for solutions. Here's the problem. Trump warned them, and Trump shouldn't have had to. You should have known better. Don't become reliant on Russia or China. Because when you give them the monopoly, and this is the thing that just blows my mind about American government, when you see what Russia's done, when they have a monopoly on certain exports, and therefore they can control the flow, ergo control the price, why are we allowing the same thing in America with energy companies? Why are we allowing the same thing with internet companies? Where I was at in downtown Dallas when I lived down there was only one internet company that would service that area because they got that city contract. How is that legal? How is it even legal?
Yeah, it doesn't seem quite fair.
And all they could do, or all you could do, is either you have internet or you don't. And you got to pay their prices. What's going to keep them from jacking their stuff way up?
Oh, yeah.
Unless the city says, hey, in your contract, this is where you peak. You can't charge any more than this.
Should the city be able to
hell no
tell them what their cost is?
They shouldn't have the right
be any sort of restriction on who can sell to who
I
or
agree.
where.
I
think
agree.
it just comes down to who has the equipment on the ground that can provide that service.
I feel that's completely fair.
Yeah.
I feel like that is completely fair because, again, when you give one company the monopoly, bro, they got you by the short hairs. They can do whatever they want. What are you going to do? And the fact that these employees support this, these city employees support this and allow this, it only tells me they're getting kickbacks.
Oh, yeah.
It only tells me they're getting kickbacks.
There's no doubt in my mind that these government officials, workers, get kickbacks on the regular.
Come to find out, the company was partially owned by Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, seriously, man. Look at that shit. Look at her husband getting off.
Well, businesses are concerned that they may have to periodically halt operations over the winter if power is in short supply, while households could struggle to pay soaring heating bills. Now, for those of you listening that you've never been to Germany, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence here. It gets insanely cold over there in the winter. Like, I was stationed there for 3 years. I'll put it this way. There was a place in Germany when I got stationed there in 2000, end of 2001, beginning of 2002, it was in Baumholder, Germany. This is before the war kicked off in 2003 in Iraq. I think I told this story before. And there was a place we would train in Germany called Hohenfels. Hohenfels, basically, think of it like this big, just open area, hundreds of miles of woodlands, terrain. That's where we'd go train at in Germany. Well, it's all beautiful, but when you bring the Bradleys and the tanks in the wintertime, it would rain a lot. And what happens to the ground? It gets muddy. It turns it into muck. You're sleeping in mud. Once your boots get wet, they're not getting dry, and you got to worry about frostbite. It's really bad. When the war kicked off, we did one rotation in Hohenfels. You do 30 days in the box. So that means you're going into the training area and you're training for 30 days. And it sucks ass. It is miserable. I'm telling you, that is the worst I had in the Army, and I would never do it again. It was that bad. We went into the invasion of Iraq for 17 months, 17 months our first tour. Guys that were stationed with me that didn't go to Hohenfels because they hadn't been there yet, but they got there right before the push to Iraq. This is our first combat tour. When we came back, they were still called cherries because they hadn't done a rotation in Hohenfels. They went to fucking war, ladies and gentlemen. But being that they hadn't done their 30 days in Hohenfels, you were still a cherry. It was that bad. That place will make or break motherfuckers. Now, as cold as that was, I can only imagine what it's like for Germans over there in the dead of winter, covered in snow, no energy. Now you're going back to where they're having to buy, because guess what the prices of wood are going to do? They're going to go through the roof. Because everybody's going to be relying on wood, coal, natural heating elements. That's where they go to. Oh, man. It's miserable over there. If you've ever been stationed in Germany, you ever been to Germany in the winter, don't. Don't. It is brutal.
Those this spring.
It is not cool. All right, so the Trump FBI raid, everybody's still talking about that. They came out with the affidavit.
It's a pretty big deal.
It's all, kind of. The affidavit they finally released was so redacted. It was like, this is nothing. Like, they've given us nothing. It's like, hey, we released this. It's like, no, you gave us nothing is what you did.
I know. It's like
It's
the
to
first
protect
page was
the
just like,
yeah.
we think that Trump is a terrible guy.
Pretty much.
We're pretty sure he's got some illegal stuff. I don't know. We'll keep poking around.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to redact the rest of the stuff.
And liberals were celebrating. And there was much celebration. Yeah.
There's
Like
just
a
like
Monty
one
Python.
word, like, furthermore, redact, right?
The DOJ or Justice Department tells judge it already reviewed Trump's documents. The DOJ said their team went through the materials before the court called for an independent special master. What the fuck? The Justice Department announced in a court filing Monday that they already reviewed documents seized from former President Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago and that they identified a limited set of documents that could include information protected by attorney-client privilege. The DOJ said they would provide more information in a separate filing, but said that prior to the court issuing a preliminary order to appoint a special master to go through the documents, a privileged review team went through the documents. A special master is an independent, court-appointed individual who in this case will be placed in charge of reviewing documents. A privileged review team consists of federal personnel not involved with the investigation itself, whose role is to sift out privileged information. That's basically saying, hey, the government's going to investigate itself. I'm like, okay.
I know. Like,
sure.
Who thinks that's a good idea? Liberals?
The government. Yeah, and the liberals are all on board for this.
They really are.
If it's anything to get Trump in trouble, absolutely. They're not going to give a fuck about justice.
Yeah, if the Republicans came like, we're doing an internal investigation, I'm like, well,
yeah,
how's that going to work?
I mean, liberals would feel the exact same way if Republicans were in charge doing the investigating themselves.
What business would you go to where your employee would give you, their own grade on how they're doing?
Yep, exactly. It's funny, but. The privilege review team identified a limited set of materials that potentially contain attorney-client privileged information, completed its review of those materials, and is in the process of following the procedure set forth in paragraph 84 of the search warrant affidavit to address potential privilege disputes, if any. The DOJ filing said those procedures included asking the court to make a determination on potentially privileged material, asking Trump's team if they are asserting privilege or action on its own, and keeping the material away from investigators. The DOJ also said they and the Officer of the Director of National Intelligence are currently facilitating a classification review of materials recovered pursuant to the search, and that ODNI is also leading an intelligence community assessment of the potential risk of national security that result from the disclosure of these materials. On Saturday, Judge Aileen M. Cannon of the Southern District of Florida announced her preliminary intent to appoint a special master to go through the documents the FBI seized in their raid of Trump's home at Mar-a-Lago earlier this month. This came after Trump's team requested an independent appointee citing exceptional circumstances, which valid. I could see that. When you don't trust the DOJ, it's like, I get that. That makes sense to me. Trump's team argued that the government decision to conduct the raid months before November's midterm elections involved political calculations aimed at diminishing the leading voice of the Republican Party, President Trump, and I fully agree with that. I mean, it's not hard to say. I mean, Helen Keller could see that one coming. That's true right there.
Yeah. It's
just crazy to me now. And, the thing that really blows my mind about how sad this is that people on the left, we have so much political divide, and Joe Biden is not uniting he's not uniting this country. He said he is.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. You're making it worse. And here's the thing. We all knew he would. Let's not even sit here and pretend like we're shocked.
No.
But the fact that he believed his own lie about that. Kamala Harris, matter of fact, well, actually, let me finish this one. Kamala Harris has done she did an interview with a reporter. I think we're 5 or 6 days now. The White House has given no information on who's footing the bill for the student loan forgiveness. They're still not answering that question.
We know what the answer is.
But that's the thing, is we want them to admit that.
Right.
We want them. That's what the press wants. They want them to say who's doing this. It's like, well, because we're raising taxes. Kamala conducts this interview on Twitter. It was posted on Twitter. Let me see if I can still find it. Shit, I can't. Yeah, she basically does this interview. And it was like a 20-second little brief clip. And they said, hey, will the White House answer who is responsible for funding these student loan forgiveness? And she goes, well, let me first answer it this way. And I'm paraphrasing. What we're doing essentially is helping out families or helping out individuals that couldn't afford to have a family, that couldn't afford to buy a house, by forgiving this debt so they can afford to buy other things. And basically, our previous administration didn't allow for this because he supported the rich. And it's like, you didn't answer the question. You did not answer the question. And here's the other thing. Let's say you forgive that debt. Okay. Let's say it actually does go through. You still can't afford a family because of inflation and a house. I was with some friends this weekend and we were talking about the cost of housing market right now. Dude, it's insane. Oh, it's freaking insane.
It's really upsetting.
It's bad.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let's say you forgive $10,000 in debt. And most people, you figure $10,000 loan, you're probably making $250 payments, probably less than that, maybe $150 per month for a couple years. What's your interest rate on that? I'm pretty sure, does the government have that? I'm pretty sure they do.
It's going to be, it's
going to be nuts.
At least over 5% at this point.
It has to be. But
I think that's what the housing market is right now.
But let's say they forgive that. Okay, so you just saved $150. Is that going to be enough for you to start a family on? If you think it is, you're stupid. You really are stupid. Is it enough for you to buy a house and you just pocket an extra $150, $200? You're stupid. No, you can't. Unless you're living in the ghetto. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Kamala Harris deflected and created this false idea of saying, well, this is the good it's going to do. Here's the thing. This is not enough money to pocket that you're going to be able to go and do something that's going to be more productive. Like, how is your money going to make you more money? You going to start a side business? Probably not. You're not going to be able to afford that. You're not saving them that much money. $10,000 sounds like a lot of money, lump sum, but it's not.
Well, clearly you're not good with money anyway if you can't pay off your debt.
I wouldn't even say. I mean, yes,
I would
yes
say
and
that
no.
right now.
Well,
if you can't pay off your own debt, then you're not good with money.
True.
Well, just like the government. Look at the government. The government takes in a ton of money.
Yeah.
And they add to our deficit, and they don't fix any problems.
I'm not trying to classify it in that way. I'm saying more so in the line of it's not somebody else's responsibility to pay off your debt.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah. That's what my problem is. And the thing that I absolutely love about this is that liberals will sit there, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of Republicans that are in favor of doing this too, because who doesn't want that shit forgiven? And I hate to say this, but some people actually had some really good points in favor of this. I was reading on Twitter, and again, Twitter's cancer. Stay off of Twitter unless you're following me because I'm just fucking amazing. Sergeant Savage over on Twitter. There was this one leftist person. She was tweeting out, I was like, well, the government bails out the banks and the airlines. Why not us? And I'm like,
I don't agree with that either.
Yeah, but I was like, you got a point. I don't agree with any of it. Well,
listen, I don't agree with government handing out any loans because it's not their money. It's our money.
But the thing was, this was all caused by the government.
It's all caused by the government.
Caused this.
Whatever they get their hands into,
they had to bail out the airline industry because the airline industry is one of the biggest employers of Americans. If that goes under, you've lost millions of jobs. But at the same token, if a business makes poor financial decisions, said business should be allowed to go under. That's their fault.
I think capitalism will ultimately correct itself.
I agree.
So if the airline...
If we made a stupid decision at Shell Shock and we invested poorly and our business is starting to go under, it's not the government's responsibility to come in and freaking save us. But now apparently if you employ a certain amount of people, now the government's like, well, we're going to save. It's like, that's not capitalism.
No, it isn't.
That's favoritism. That's absolutely, that's corporatism. No, that's not right. And I hate that people would lose their jobs, but that's part of the system correcting itself. Now somebody else is going to step in, fill that role. They're going to employ people, and they're probably going to make sound decisions saying, hey, we're not going to make the same mistake those guys did. And that's the problem there. But when the government comes in there and they stick their fingers in these pies, they keep fucking it up.
Yeah, the only thing I could possibly think of that they would want to do this is because they're getting paid on the back end.
I wouldn't doubt that.
So they have these back end deals that benefit them. So they're corrupt politicians. These politicians aren't good people. They're not. They don't have our best interests at heart.
Not
they
at
just
all.
don't.
Not at all.
And this is more proof that a small portion of people who want their debt paid off. I mean, that MSN website did a poll and was like 68% of the people out of 229,000 weren't in favor of having student loan paid off.
Even Democrats aren't in favor of this.
No, it's terrible because it's going to raise up everybody's taxes, and it's just not good for a country right now, especially in a recession with no end in sight. No matter what the mainstream media is trying to tell everybody, it's not happening.
I've been seeing something about social media in general. TikTok right now. If you're not on TikTok, good for you. Unless you're following me, Sergeant or John Burke over there. I'm fucking amazing. All I post is John Ross stuff over there. I don't even read my comments. I just post it and I hope to piss off I'm surprised I'm not banned on there yet. But apparently there's like a war of the sexes over there right now. And regardless of what the topic of discussion is, TikTok has created this idea. A friend of mine posted on her Instagram page this morning. It was some ugly feminist. Actually, no, she wasn't ugly. She was, she was doable. But she was just like talking about women's empowerment. And there's this clearly freaking effeminate dude talking about how scientists have now discovered a way for women to be fertilized without the men's seed. Therefore, they don't need men anymore. So what they're predicting is within 1,000 years, men will go extinct. And everybody's like, see, so for the stronger sex, you're really not. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this and I'm like, you know, I have so many things I could respond to on this about, number one, how retarded they are for this. It's like, okay, really? The women are going to dig the ditches. The women are going to do the roads. The women are going to be in the electrical. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, you feminists, you're not going to do anything.
I know.
It's like, please.
Scream at it.
In this day of
scream at the road until it fixes itself.
Ladies and gentlemen, you want to see how like empowered feminists really are and how empowered women really are when it comes to doing men's work and how they can do it. The next time you drive by a road construction crew, count on one hand how many females you see out there. I challenge you. I challenge you. These steel workers, the next time you drive by a construction site, go count how many women you see actually doing manual labor jobs. You can count on one hand. Don't sit there and tell me that you are so, actually, you know what? I'm going to stop because I'm not going into that. The point that I'm trying to make, though, is like, where are these battles coming from? This is not something that you just walk out your front door and see. These are issues that are created on TikTok. They are creating this divide between men and women. And it's just like everybody is shouting out into the internet ether, wanting to be heard, to put their input into it about a battle that they have created on a platform that doesn't exist in the real world. And I'm like, this is cancer. This is causing so much division, so much anger, so much animosity over what?
I know.
Influencers wanting to talk about how much, like Andrew Tate, apparently, I guess he did have an account over there, by the way. I got to fix myself on that. They banned him over there. But there's this other woman called Andrew something or Drew something, and she's like a man-eater, whatever they call her. And I've seen her stuff, and she's fat. She's not really attractive. And she trolls men. And now all these dudes are going after her, and she's just combating them, yada, yada. She's got like 7 million followers. But it's just like, they're just clowning each other. Mm-hmm. It's the men clowning the women, women clowning the men, feminists, misogynists, whatever you want to call it on each side, going at it. I'm sitting here, it's like, what is the causation of this? Why are you doing this? What is the point of this? And so there was this one girl's thing that popped up on my For You page today, and she was a feminist. She's like, well, I just want to talk about my female friend of color, and I want to talk about her perspective. Like, done. I'm not watching that shit. I was like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. The moment you got to throw your race into it, I'm done. There I saw one video. Everybody was up in arms about a costume on a video game that somebody was streaming. It was like 3 or 4 dudes dressed all in white, I guess to replicate the KKK, that were killing black players or black NPCs in the game. And they're freaking out about this. I'm like, Jesus, you're creating racism in a video game. Are you kidding me?
Sounds like some teenage kids.
This is some juvenile, and people take this so seriously. You know what this is? You know what this represents? Yes, it's a video game. It's not real. Is it fucked up? Yes, it's fucked up. Is it funny? Yes, it's funny. My God, are they doing this in real life? No, y'all need to calm the fuck down. Racism needs to be stamped out. And this is the problem that we have with our society. Mm-hmm. You're not going to stamp out racism. You're not going to stamp out misogynism. You're not going to stamp out feminism. You can't. Why? Because as long as ignorance exists in our society, those things will attach itself to that ignorance and will always exist. Yeah. Racist parents breed racist children. It's proven. Culture is everything. How you raise those children are everything. But I just find it that, I'll put it this way and then I want to move on. I forget who I was watching, and this dude nailed it. He hit it out of the park. He talked about, and man, it just really resonated with me. He talked about how when you pick up your phone, ladies and gentlemen, and you are basically opening up Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, specifically TikTok or whatever, the human mind is not made, we are not made to process that many emotions that quickly. Because he talks about how you can literally scroll for 20 minutes and experience a variety of various emotions. He's like, what is that doing to your psyche? Yeah. What is that doing to your mental status? It's like, this right here should never have been created. This is destroying us. And I kind of sat there and I thought about it. And so when I was going through TikTok, I was like, I'd see a funny video and then I'd see something that I started to get pissed off. I'm like, he's right. Because if I didn't look into this, half of these problems that we think we have would not exist. We would not be as angry as we are. We would not be as politically divided as we are. Zuckerberg has created the Matrix. It started with Facebook and it's just gone from there. I'm telling you right now, this is destroying us as a civilization, not even as a country, as a civilization. Anything that man has created that could be good, that could be used for good, instantly, I shouldn't say instantly, but over time becomes demonic and is used for evil. Look what has been created on TikTok. Look what has been created on social media. Like I was sitting there on my Facebook page. You can follow me at John Burke, my private page. And I was sitting there and I was kind of like, man, I haven't posted in a while. I should probably post something. I was like, what am I going to post that's not negative? And then I started thinking, it's like, that's because your brain, my brain, is functioned to think about political stuff. And the majority of political stuff is rooted in negativity. So it's like, fuck. Like, wow, that's the matrix. That's what I'm plugged into. That can't be good for me. That can't be good for anybody. And imagine if you're a young, impressionable teenager and you're sitting there scrolling through TikTok. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honestly scared. I'm scared for what our youth is going to become. This is not normal. Processing emotions at such a fast level within a span of 20 to 30 minutes. My God, like I'll take my phone to the toilet and I'll be on TikTok for like 30 minutes and my butt cheeks are numb. And I get done and I find myself in a shittier mood, no pun intended. And this is not normal. It's come to the point now where, bro, it's like, I don't even want to read the comments. I don't want to look at this. I'll post my content and then shut it off. I'm telling you, parents, get your kids off of this stuff.
Yeah,
it's not
I
good.
definitely don't think kids should be on any of these social media platforms. And I think you have to go on to these sites with the expectation of this isn't the people that you're interacting with is probably more than likely just bots, or some sort of AI.
But I mean, think about this. Like, say, like you post
it's more
something.
of just like a joke.
Yeah, but think about how some of these things can like for example, I was posting some tango pictures on my John Burke official page. It's non-political. It's just my stuff. And my coach is like, yeah, I was reading some of the comments. You got some douchebags that follow you. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, they make some really snide comments about your tango. He's like, why? Why wouldn't they support you? I was like, well, number one, that's the veteran community. That's how we show support. It's like, he's like, hey, you're a freaking douchebag. It's just the way we show love. I was like, but you're right, though. Like, instead of like positivity and inspiration and encouragement, it's not. But then again, a lot of that is what I've crafted out of a following. That's my own fault. But at the same token, he does make a point. He said you can go in there and read one comment that will stick in your craw and ruin your mood for however long. It's like, but if you didn't even do that, your mood would be fine. You'd be happy. And, it gets to the point where I don't even want to do the podcast sometimes because it means I got to open up the news. I got to read this negative shit. It puts me in a bad fucking mood. Like, where's the positivity? Where's the positive news? Where's the good things? Because the human condition, Zuckerberg and the rest of these people, they know what they're doing. They know that we thrive on negativity. They know that we thrive on drama. That's why reality television is so big. The Kardashians make it feel good about your life because these people are weird. They're insane. They're nuts, but they're billionaires. But then you at home, you buy into this because why? It's entertaining because we have to plug into the matrix to get outside of our own lives because they're not boring. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, I mean this in all sincerity and all humility, and I'm wanting people to understand where I'm coming from. When I started pursuing alternative hobbies, tango, fencing, other stuff, I became less involved in social media. I don't post nearly as much as I do anymore or used to. And I found myself to be a lot happier. Now, granted, what's on your timeline on your social media platforms is a lot of what you follow. So that's your own fault, realistically, and I will take full responsibility in that. But at the same token, when you unplug from that social media matrix, your life is going to get so much better, so much happier, because all the crap, all the horrible people that exist in this society can't get to you anymore. They can't. How are they going to get to you? They've got no way into your life. None. This right here, this phone, it's a portal into your life. You allow these people to affect you. Or I shouldn't say allow, but they potentially can. And this is so not good for our psychology.
No, I think you just got to approach it from the standpoint of, this is my expectation. This is what I need to get out of this. Yeah. I mean, you control how people make you feel. Like if somebody says something to you, it's like you can either just let it roll off your back or you can take it personally. And I think that's how you get to really navigate these things, because I think at this point in our lives, like, this isn't going away. It's not going away. So all the social media sites, if it's not Zuckerberg, it's going to be somebody else. If it's not Jack Dorsey, it's going to be somebody else.
True.
If it's not Rumble, it's somebody's always going to have something there for people to gather together and figure things out.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great tool to use to find out what's going on all over the world.
But you
to
see,
keep
the
in
problem
contact.
with that though is like there's such a bias. Like who are you going to get your news?
Like here in Texas, there was God, where was it? I think it was somewhere in Collin County, a school out there where they voted on no pronouns, no CRT. All right.
Yeah.
So obviously you're going to have a group of douchebags that get upset because they can't talk about CRT or they can't talk about pronouns.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't be talking to kids about pronouns. You know, I'll put my 2 cents in or whatever.
Yeah.
And then everybody erupts. I think it's hilarious because pronouns in themselves are funny. So if I see somebody with pronouns, I'm like,
oh yeah, you instantly.
They want attention, right?
If I see somebody with a Ukraine flag or a
Right.
rainbow flag or
That's
pronouns,
that's the
instantly
thing.
I don't listen to what they have to say.
There's a rainbow flag,
Yeah.
there's a Ukraine flag, and then there's some pronouns attached to
Hashtag
it.
resist.
I'm like,
yeah.
you know, what cheat codes in your balls do you push to make you into a different gender, right? It's like that doesn't happen. It's like you want to teach all these other things in school to children,
Yeah.
and then when parents step up and say, "Listen, don't talk to our kids about these things.
Yeah.
Teach them just the basics,
Curriculum, yeah.
read, writing,
Yeah.
arithmetic, history, that basics."
Yeah.
You know, don't worry about the.
Do you think
the
a
other
lot of our
technical
problems
stuff.
that we have today in regards to pronouns and genders, do you think that would still be here if we didn't have social media?
Probably. I
You
mean,
think so? I don't think it would.
You know, before all this stuff, you still had like goth kids, right?
Yeah.
So kids, even when I was in high school back in the 90s, you would have these kids wearing like black eyeliner,
Yeah.
you know, these weird costumes, leather trench coats.
I did that.
You know,
I
that-
wasn't that bad, but yeah, Converse,
You know what I'm talking
camo
about?
pants,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, so
goth
there was,
crew, yeah.
I think it's building up to that kind of stuff where you have these fringe kids who are looking for somebody to accept them.
Yeah.
And here you have these people who throw these things out there that aren't positive in their lives. I mean, having different pronouns and picking a different gender,
Yeah.
that's not going to change who you are.
Yeah.
So
Well, in their
I think
mind, that makes them different.
in their minds, it makes them different, but it doesn't, I mean, in the long run, help them out at all.
Yeah.
I mean, if these people are 50 years old and they're still using pronouns and they're
I
I'm
can't
like,
imagine a grown adult
Yeah.
acting like that, yeah.
No, what you need to focus on is getting a very good education.
Or learning
doing
a trade.
Doing something, learning a trade, doing something productive with your life, starting a family, you know? That's it.
Bro, I would
You
not
know,
want to
think
start a family in this day and age. I
people-
would not want to bring children to the world at this point in this country.
Yeah, marriage is hard.
No.
Having kids is tough, but I couldn't imagine my life right now without it. And I wish I would have started earlier.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I would have started earlier in life with this stuff. So, but, you know, I think that's more important than someone choosing what pronouns they
Yeah.
want people to describe them as.
Yeah.
You know what? No, I'm not going to play that game.
Yeah.
And you're not going to bring my kids to the table and start talking to them about that shit.
Yeah.
So leave it out of schools.
I don't
Let's
think
not
we'd
talk
be
about it.
facing a lot of these issues that we're facing now if social media hadn't been around. I think the biggest thing that social media has allowed to happen is for information to flow at a very insanely fast rate, because you can literally have something happen in India and you'll find out in America within an hour.
Yeah.
It's that quick.
Yeah.
It's that fast.
See, I think
and the
those
same
things
thing
are-
with can be good.
Yeah.
It can be good, but the problem is I think it's a human condition that what's something that is created that is inherently good can instantaneously, or at least over time, shouldn't say instantaneously, but over time becomes twisted, perverted, and is eventually used for bad. And
It's like anything. I mean,
yeah,
you
radio,
can look at,
newspapers.
Well,
yeah.
you look at as soon as video came out, filming stuff, what happened? Start making pornography, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think most people can agree that people are better off without pornography than they are with pornography.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's always going to be some evil to some good.
Yeah.
So it's just how you can, take that stuff in strides. I mean, you got to be able to have some self-control with that. So it's like exercising and dieting.
True.
So if you go to McDonald's every day because you're hungry, you're
You're
gonna get big and fat and you're gonna die early.
Yeah.
But if you're hungry, you go home, you make yourself a healthy meal.
But without social
You're gonna
media,
feel your
you
stomach
wouldn't
and you
have
get to
these
live
fat
longer.
activists to argue this stuff. Be like, oh, it's not about the diet; it's about the lack of exercise. Like, no, it's not.
It's not.
It has nothing to do with the lack of exercise.
No.
It's
And
about the fact you're eating crap.
yeah, and that goes back to if the government was really concerned about people's health, that every gym membership would be free, right? They would
Federally funded gym memberships.
they would
That'd be something to look into.
Right.
You know, that's actually not a bad idea. If we're going to spend taxpayer money, on dumb stuff, why not create or fund recreational facilities such as like your YMCAs and stuff like that with federal funding? Or I shouldn't say YMCA per se. And again, the problem is though, it's just be like,
yeah. Once government gets involved in that sort of
they
shit,
screw
next
it
thing
up,
you know,
yeah.
it's
going to be a
turns
trash
into
facility. Yeah.
a place where you go get hepatitis C
Yeah.
and a heroin addiction.
That's the truth.
It's got to be. I wouldn't
Community-based. I think
wouldn't have
community-based.
government do anything, but I'm just using that as an example that if government really cared about your health,
Yeah, they don't.
They don't.
No.
They care about money, and they're crooked politicians, and they get paid on the back end, and they'll write a book, and it'll be sold in China for millions and millions of dollars.
That's the truth. It's the truth.
That's the world we live in. But we've got to be able to use these platforms against them to say, listen, this is. Not everybody thinks like that. Not everybody has a pronoun in their bio.
Yeah.
Do
you think we're going to see a point where this fades away? Do you think this is a fad, the pronoun stuff? Because I think
we're getting closer and closer to seeing the end of this because
people are getting. I think the only way to end it is you start making fun of them.
Yeah, you light that fuse, and eventually you're going to get to the bomb, and it's going to explode. And people are going to be like, you know what? We're voting these people out. I've never voted in my life, but I'm getting
tired of it.
Getting out.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Trump did in 2016.
Yeah,
people got sick and tired of being pushed around and lied to. Like these lies that these people tell are so blatant.
Yeah.
They don't even care.
I agree.
And then you have Rob Reiner talking to Bill Maher about...
Yeah, I saw that. We talked about that before, the My Son Hunter video that's coming out.
It's not even... It wasn't even... Well, yeah, they talked about the laptop, but Rob Reiner's like, I didn't know that they suppressed it. And Bill Maher's like, well, that's because you only watch MSN. He's like, no, that's not true. I watch Fox
Rob
News
Reiner's
too.
the biggest leftist out.
Yeah,
That guy's such a douche.
You're a big leftist who's been bought and paid for by politics. I mean, what would he do without the influence that he has?
I agree. Rob Reiner's a has-been anyway, but even still, I hate the guy, but as much we can't deny the fact he does have influence. He does have a large following. But the fact that he would sit there, I don't know, he denies. Yeah, because you sit there and you constantly watch one side of this.
Right.
It's like they've even come out and admitted. You had that one freaking neuroscientist coming out and saying, Mark Zuckerberg admitted it.
I mean, I'm no Bill Maher fan.
Put it, and then Twitter said we banned it. They censored it. And it's like, well, of course. It's like, but it was on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
You have access to all this. It's just the fact that they're selectively choosing to ignore this.
Right.
And it's like, look, if the right's doing it and we ignore it, then we're complicit. We're equally as guilty. I was like, but I think ultimately it comes down to one side taking accountability, and that's never going to happen. Republicans will never take accountability for the dumb shit that they do, and the left is the same. So right now we've got two flawed parties, and ultimately it's the American people that are suffering over everything.
Right.
And it's kind of like it's these elected rich politicians that are screwing it up for everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm to the point where I'm so sick and tired of it.
Self-serving,
and that's
and that's the whole thing. So I just think people like Bill Maher who are like
Bill Maher. I'm glad you brought him up because Bill Maher used to be insanely on the left
because he was one of the guys that said, if the economy crashes and we get rid of Trump, then that's a good thing. I think he sees now that that is such a terrible idea because Joe Biden is probably the worst person in the entire universe that could run this country. There's nobody worse than Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I would say Jeffrey Epstein would probably be a better president than Joe Biden because he'd had more sense before he got killed.
Jesus.
Seriously, I'm not saying
he's not saying he's a good person.
No, he's obviously he's a terrible person.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But this guy's such a sack of shit.
There is a poll right now. We're gonna get to 59%. Well, actually, we'll get back to that. No, I think Bill Maher, again, like I said, he is, bro, that guy was so far on the left. He's come more centrist now. And when you're getting Bill Maher, and he's still a little bit left, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But when you got someone that is so, like, Bill Maher is kind of almost, I wouldn't say, like, the metric of measuring the left by any stretch of the imagination, because Bill Maher's intelligent. I'm not going to, he's a smart dude. But when you see extreme left, or I shouldn't say extreme left, but left Bill Maher come more centrist, like, bro, there's something to this.
I don't even think he's centrist. I think he's still left. I think these other people are super far left.
But he's definitely come more right.
Like, they don't even care. Like when you have
let me put it this way.
Klobuchar talking about Donald Trump inciting an insurrection on January 6th, which isn't true at all.
No.
And they keep pushing this lie. Like
you
they
say
push
the lie enough, people believe it,
They push the Russian collusion lie over and over and over again.
Yeah.
These same people are pushing a new lie. They just move from one lie to the next lie until they say, nope, that's a lie. Then they move on to the next lie.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's all they have.
It's ridiculous.
That's the difference between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats will keep lying and pushing their agenda until they get it. Republicans will go up there and be like, this is what we're doing.
And they won't do it.
And they'll get up there and they'll make it, they'll cause a big scene and then they don't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
or maybe the culture has gone so far off the leftist cliff that Bill just essentially, I think Elon Musk posted a meme about this, and it was actually very well done. He talked about that it's not that people on the left have moved more right, it's that the left has pushed way far left, and the moderates have now become like the more centrist, and the people that were that were more moderate that went with it became insanely leftist. It's kind of like they moved the goalpost even further left.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the moderate Democrats, they're still moderates. Or at least the progressives have become more moderate. Does that make sense? What I'm saying is like they went more left, and everybody that was once considered.
Yeah, I don't even know that it's. I consider myself. I don't know.
I'm talking about on the left. I'm not talking about on the right.
Yeah, I don't even know that it's.
Now the
leftist agendas. Maybe they just piggybacked off of the left, and now they just went like completely crazy. Because you think about the Clinton era presidency.
Yeah.
Those are the same. Like Joe Biden's the same person that had the crackdown on drugs. And
but you got to remember though,
jail.
Democrats are reflections, or those that are elected or those that are still in office are reflections of our contemporary society. So Joe Biden's a reflection, or at least his administration's a reflection of what the left society is right now, which is insanity. But the thing that does concern me is you've got insanity on the left and the fact of like child drag shows and stuff. I'm going to get to an article about that. But on the right, you got these Lauren Bobberts and stuff like that do concern me about essentially religious zealotry wanting to take over the government. It's like you've got people on the left going insane, and then to combat that, you got those on the right wanting a Christian-ran government, which I'm not for. So it's kind of like you got two, I'm glad I said this because it's finally made its way over on Twitter and shit like that. Remember like a week or two ago when I tweeted out about Andrew Tate. I said, you've got Andrew Tate because of these feminists that you have on the left. You cannot create one movement without counter-creating another one. So with all the feminists going out there and man-bashing, man-hating, you created Andrew Tate. And that's what you get. Both are extreme sides of this. Both are combating each other. But I think most people tend to fall more in the middle to where it's like, no, I see the common sense on both sides, but it's the extremists that get most attention. That's what I feel like it is. So it's kind of like, that's the thing that worries me. It's like, where is the common sense approach to any of this? I don't see it because honestly, it's not eccentric enough. People want eccentricity. I don't see it.
What I think is strange is when you have people like Andrew Tate who speak up and have that loud voice and start to garner a big following. And then all of a sudden these rape accusations come out against them, all these accusations, and everybody believes it because it's so early in the game. Like, how do you even combat it? So they hit you with all these horrible charges.
Yeah. Racism, rape, all this stuff.
So he moved over to Rumble.
I do want to make this point. Like, we have this one dude in the YouTube chat, this Zangori RC, says Republicans haven't won the popular vote in 30 years because Republican policies are inhumane, folks. Wake up. If the fact that you constantly want to bash one side and you can't see the other side as well as being inhumane, such as murdering babies, come on, dude. You're already biased as it is. I don't know what you're talking about at this point.
Yeah,
all you want to do is just bash Republicans. There is more than enough stupidity on both sides to say, wait a minute, this whole system is fucked up. You can't sit there and just say like, oh, Republicans, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, dude, there's stupidity on both sides. And the fact is, like, and I've said this multiple times, the people that we see running for political office, this is the best that we've got. We've got some of the smartest people in the world living in America, some of the best economists. And instead we get Joe Biden's. We get this. We can do better. We can do way better. But unfortunately, you know what it comes down to? Money. Who's got the money? Who can afford to run? Who can do all this stuff? That's the problem.
Yeah.
And I understand why the socialist idea has taken root in America, because in socialist ideology, money is not the root of all evil because money does not control people. But unfortunately, socialists don't realize, yes, it does.
Just ask Bernie Sanders.
Ask Bernie Sanders.
3 houses.
Yes, you want to sit there and talk about how, like, they've got to pay their fair share. Bernie, you're a socialist.
Yeah.
You're
a millionaire.
Your great value communism. So if you fully believe in what you stand for, give your houses away, give your wealth away, but you won't. Hassan Piker's the same way. Yeah. These open, devout socialists, you sit there and you hammer about this. No. Practice what you preach. And until then, shut up. And they never do. You never see a rich socialist because they're capitalists at heart. They claim socialism to get all the simps to come in there and support them financially, but they're capitalists at heart. They know this. I mean, come on.
Let me ask you, have you ever seen Bernie Sanders at like a soup kitchen or helping out homeless or handing out blankets or somewhere on Thanksgiving, carving out turkey and handing it to homeless people? No, you haven't. You've never seen that of Bernie Sanders. You want to know why? Because the guy's a fraud.
They're all frauds.
He doesn't care about people. Bernie Sanders cares about Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Makes me want chicken just saying his name, though.
This Zingari is a troll. He says the political pendulum is so far right that the center looks left to most. And then he says that Biden is a moderate Republican. Biden is a center-right moderate Republican, folks.
Right, well,
you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you're banned. You're stupid. Sorry. You can here's the people like you. You just need to shut up and listen because you don't know. Biden is a center. Okay. Yeah. Sorry that Biden stood for hormone blockers for children. He's pro-abortion. Explain to me how that's a Republican. Dude, you don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, he's banned. But, again, it does go back to the point that we have such extremism on both sides. I don't see a way out of this because now our political figures are just having these fucking Twitter beefs. It's like, oh my God, okay, well, what's getting done? Like, what's really getting done here? Because all these politicians are doing is putting more laws on the books. And here I'm like, we don't need more laws.
You're not going to see.
We don't need this.
Yeah, the only time we saw real change is when Donald Trump came to office and he started changing things.
That's true. I
mean, I don't agree with the pushed vaccine.
I agree, yeah.
I don't think there ever should have been a
Trump was wrong on that one.
I don't think there ever should have been
wrong.
The loans out to people.
No, I agree. Yes.
So all that was terrible. Like handing people checks.
Oh my God.
It was set up for crime right out of the gate. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But as far as low gas prices, energy independence,
we had it.
New trade deals.
Yeah.
I mean, a border wall. Border crossings were down 95% under his presidency.
I don't remember. I don't know.
It was about that high. Yeah. So
well, Biden even said before he even took office, "Come on." Yeah, I remember him saying that. He said, "Come on."
Yeah, so that's
what did they do? The Guatemalan caravan, bam, they started coming. And then Biden's like, "Oh,
but he was right. Trump was
like
right.
Not like that.
It's not that hard. All these things aren't that. You put the right people in the right places to get things done. That's all you have to do is delegate these responsibilities to people who know what they're doing.
Not just that, but also ignoring the public outcries from the extreme idiots out there. I'm sorry if you're young. I don't want to hear what you have to say. You're stupid. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. It's Twitter. It's Twitter and these social media platforms. They go in there and they bombard people saying, "Oh, this is an outrage, an outcry," and you realistically look at it. It's like, who are you people?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't give a shit about what people in Germany have to say about our border. I don't give a fuck what you have to say. Y'all don't matter.
Not even a little bit.
Absolutely. The ones that I care about are the people on the southern border, and the majority of them say, we want a border wall because we are impacted by this. Cartels, what if there was an issue over with Canada, and then suddenly the northern states start saying, hey, man, we need a wall because these Canadians, they're becoming a problem. Well, what right does the southern states have to say? No, you shouldn't be allowed to build that border wall. It's like, dude, you're not even impacted by this. Shut the fuck up. That's why I believe more in states' rights versus federal. Yeah. If Texas wants to build that wall, build that. What is Abbott? Come on, bro. What are you waiting for?
Do it. Finish it.
You've created Operation Lone Star. You secured $40 million. Fucking build the wall. And then start treating them like the criminals they are.
I can't imagine it.
And then you got these influencers on TikTok. There's no such thing as an illegal human. Yes, the fuck there is. Yes, the fuck there is. Go over to Iran. Go over to Iran, cross that border, and see what happens. Go try. Just because you don't want it to be doesn't make it so, because there's this world that exists on social media, and then there's this place where the rest of us reside, which is called the real fucking world. And you're going to find out real quick, fast, in a hurry. If you try to, go to a certain country without a passport and you get in there and they find you, they're going to lock your ass up. Russia, go see there.
Well, how about go to county lockup for a weekend just to see what that's like?
There you go.
And see if you change your mind about border security or just security in general or funding the police or whatever.
Because nobody wants to see real life.
When you come out, you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe we should be up.
They really aren't sending us their best. Fuck. What's the status on what's the status on Brittany Griner? I haven't heard anything about her in a while. Is she still over in that Russian prison, or did she already come back and they just kind of secretly traded her and they didn't want the world to know?
I thought it was like, did Dennis Rodman go over there?
Oh, is that what that was? I saw a brief article about, because everybody's like, this is who we're sending over. It's like, hey, if it works,
he went to North Korea.
He went to North Korea. I'm at a loss for that. How Kim Jong-un would be a favorite of, or Dennis Rodman would be a favorite of Kim Jong-un. Like, you wouldn't think that. But, okay. I mean, you got to play to your strengths, and if that's a strength, you play that. That's what you got to do.
Huge basketball fans over there.
There you go.
You said Dennis Rodman didn't go?
I like how Katie in Twitch chat said, how about instead of 87,000 IRS agents, we hire 87,000 Border Patrol agents? It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Here we go. The curse of Kamala. Vice President Harris's desperate winless streak continues after NASA scrubs Artemis launch. Vice President Kamala Harris's desperate winless streak continued Monday after NASA scrubbed the Artemis launch due to an issue with one of the rocket's 4 engines. Harris, who chairs the administration's National Space Council, has planned to attend the launch with Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff and deliver a speech about the United States leadership in space and historic nature of the Artemis missions. The purpose of the missions are to land a black person and woman on the moon. You're fucking kidding me. You are kidding me. Oh my God. Is this? No. But the mission was scrubbed after technical failure and Harris's big day was postponed. Besides delivering the speeches, it is unclear what exactly Harris's role is at the chair National Space Council. There have occasionally been snickers about the fact that the VP chairs the administration's National Space Council, Political Playbook reported.
That's a big scam.
Are you kidding me? After the launch, Harris is reportedly scheduled to inspect some of the equipment to be used in the upcoming moon missions.
Why is she inspecting anything?
Hey guys, we got Stevie Wonder coming in to inspect our.
We don't know what a woman is, but let me take a look at that.
Exactly.
That
Suddenly
space
she's
rocket.
like a freaking she's an astronaut now. She's a NASA scientist. Get the fuck out of here.
Let's pop the hood on this
You
baby. See
gotta
what
be
we're looking
kidding
at.
me. The mission of Artemis is to put a black person and a woman on the moon? What purpose does that serve? We are literally spending billions to virtue signal to the world how woke we are.
Let me tell you,
Nobody gives there's not a single Russian civilian like, you know what, the Americans, they put black men on moon. They are very woke, very, very good. They don't give a fuck about that. Yeah. Half America, I mean, seriously, if we looked at how much this is costing the taxpayer, come on, folks.
This is the thing.
Oh, I'm so ready for this woke generation to just die off. It is so, we have grown, we are living in idiocracy. We are living idiocracy. You are literally doing a space, I'm sorry, I can't believe that. There is no way. There is no way we are spending, or that mission is the focal point is to put a black man and a woman on the moon. It can't be.
Got to do it.
It can't be.
It's got to happen.
There's just no way.
Yeah, I'm going to be the first one to say that nobody's going to the moon.
I think Hobo Chili has a good point. He says, I think they're going to plant the flag of Wakanda. Oh my God.
Bombay.
Oh my God. You got to be shitting me. And then the next one they're going to send up is a gay trans person and then a child of color. It's like, oh, good Lord. Harris has also failed to secure the southern border after President Joe Biden handed that responsibility over her in March of 2021. This is true. Remember, we talked about this on the show. Like, he basically, and then what did she do? She went to Guatemala to try and say, hey, don't send them. And they came anyway.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Conspiracy Bear said, breaking news, moon was just hit by the first drive-by. Oh, my God. Oh, that's fucking horrible, but it's so funny. It's funny. I don't give a shit. It's funny. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. And they were going to send the first woman, but unfortunately she got lost and refused to ask for directions.
Couldn't find her keys.
Couldn't find her keys. Oh, my God. Harris's policy failures add upon her lack of ability to communicate with the American people. In March, the vice president rambled about the significance of the passage of time during a speech in Sunset, Louisiana. She mentioned the significance of the passage of time 4 times in 32 seconds. She's true. She's right on. If you listen to that speech, you're like, what the hell is she talking about?
Yeah, I can't believe she's the vice president. Honestly.
Bro, we have idiots running this country. You've got a senile old man.
Like, watching her give a speech is like watching somebody talk for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, she just learned what sentences are.
Carrots? Can you say carrot for me? Come on. Kawawaba. Oh.
Like,
she's trying. Oh, bless her heart, she's trying.
Give it a good shot there.
Good grief.
All right, Kamala.
DOJ tells court it found limited attorney. Already talked about that. Yeah, what we were talking about before, 59% believe Joe Biden should release cognitive test. 59% of voters believe President Joe Biden should take and release a cognitive test, according to McLaughlin and Associates polling published Friday. The poll asked, do you think Joe Biden should take a cognitive health test and release it publicly? 59% said the president should release a cognitive test, while only 30% said he should not. 11% declined to answer, aka don't give a fuck. That's basically what that means. Mm-hmm. Since McLaughlin and Associates started polling the decision in December of 2021, about 60% of respondents have wanted Biden to release a cognitive test. According to an April poll, a majority of the voters that Biden is unfit. They said that Biden is unfit to be president, and they doubt is mentally they doubt his mental ability. 62% said he is not fit to be president because he is too old. I wouldn't even say it's because of his old. It's because he's fucking senile, which I guess could be attributed to age. I mean, it is, but still, you get what I'm saying. Now, when I first read the title of this article, I got a little happy. It says Taliban shows off pride. I was like, wait, what? No.
Gay pride?
That's what I was thinking. But I finished it. It said Taliban shows off pride of its military, the Martyrdom Brigade. I was like, boy, did that go the opposite direction. Imagine like, hey guys, check out my suicide vest. It comes in pink, chartreuse. It's so explosive.
Oh, we just got all this new equipment from Afghanistan. It's
right.
Wonderful.
Oh. And in the photo, the dude's rocking a saw, an American saw. Taliban
He's
fighter.
wearing a Biden Harris t-shirt. Biden Harris 2024.
Oh,
we need it.
The Interior Ministry of the terrorist government of the Taliban advertised in a news conference on Sunday the development of an armed forces wing dedicated to suicide bombing, the Martyrdom Brigades, calling the bombers our source of pride. Man, we could use a few of them here because I know exactly where I'd send them. I got to get this article out of the way. I got to read it because it's, well, maybe I didn't have it. I posted it on my Instagram page. There's a town in Texas, northern Texas, that I think over the weekend there was a drag show, child-friendly drag show that was guarded, and this is how crazy we've gotten, folks. It was guarded by armed Antifa. Antifa at a town in Texas stood out in front of this bar that was hosting a drag show where apparently there was partial nudity, armed with AR-15s, and were defending it. What the fuck? I would throw a suicide bomber right up the middle of that. Take them all out.
I don't know. I obviously don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But if it's a private group and that's what they're doing on their own time
for children,
then there's nothing that I feel like I should be.
I mean, what about the children?
I think it's terrible.
Like if we're sitting here saying that liberals should not be allowed to murder babies, should we suddenly then say liberals should be allowed to sexualize their children?
I don't know. I think you really start to get into.
No, I think that's child abuse.
A slippery slope.
I know it's a slippery slope.
If there's nudity involved,
yeah.
I'm going to say no. Like that shouldn't be. Kids shouldn't be able to go to a strip club.
I agree.
Kids shouldn't be able to go to a bar.
I agree.
And all that stuff.
But why is it making it okay for a drag show? Like, I don't get where parents think this is an okay thing. But the fact that you have armed Antifa
if a parent's
out there,
taking
like,
their
where's
kids
the DOJ
there, then
on
it's
this?
not going to matter what anybody else says. Like you could go up there and picket and all this other stuff, and it's not going to make a difference because these parents are terrible people already if they're going to take their kids to something. So
I'm sorry. It was Anderson Distillery in Roanoke. And Grill and Anderson Distillery and Grill in Roanoke. The owner's son is a drag queen and held the show there. Go figure. But the funny thing about that though is like Antifa, they sit there with the AR-15s. You fire one round, those douchebags are gonna run. They're gonna run. There ain't no way they're gonna sit there and go toe to toe. But for those that didn't know, there was a 3-story parking garage close to it where they had positioned snipers, supposedly. Funny how Democrats suddenly love themselves an AR-15.
Yeah, I mean, to me that sounds very hypocritical.
Very.
They're walking around wanting all this gun legislation and then banning assault rifle.
Yep.
AR-15s. I don't like saying assault rifle.
It's not. Yeah, it's just a rifle. Yeah,
it's a rifle.
But speaking of the Taliban, I would definitely take those suicide bombers and that pub gone. Hit it. That's what you get for being there. It's disgusting. These are groomers, and now you have armed Antifa. Like I'm to the point where it's like DOJ, where are you at? Cops, where are you at? Justice, is there any justice? These are children. These are children, and they're okay with this. Yeah, and of course, you take one look. If you go on my Instagram, you can see the image there. The image is of this clearly fat dude, just disgusting. Armed Antifa or Antifa armed with AR-15 guards, kid-friendly drag show in Texas. And you've got this fat blob. He's hideous. He's dressed in some leotard with a unicorn horn and some weird shit. Like, just disgusting. These people are freaks.
Who's one, like, guarding?
No. That's one of the drag performers. And you see Antifa, a bunch of skinny little dudes, guards sitting there, standing there. It's like you're sitting down. It's like you're not even really guarding. You're just sitting there, show of force. All it takes is one drive-by and they're done. But these people are freaks. These people should be ostracized from our society. They are not normal.
I agree. I mean,
it is, and again, this article just goes to show this is not left versus right anymore. This is legitimately good versus evil.
It is.
This is good versus evil. Any person that would take the side of Democrats or whoever these people are, because the other things, I know a lot of Democrats that don't support this either.
Right.
This is the extreme left, and this is pedophiles trying to latch on to the LGB and trying to get it normalized. This is disgusting. This is good versus evil. And when the DOJ, when the police, when the very same people that are sworn into office to protect and to serve the people are allowing the sexualization of children at these facilities and these shows, I think it's well within the right of the people to arm up and take them out. I think it's disgusting. When the law no longer does its job or do what it's supposed to do, then what need have you of it anymore? Why? Why do we have cops? Well, why do you exist?
Yeah.
If you're not there to protect, where's CPS? Where are they at? This is nuts.
I mean, those are all very good questions. Like, CPS should probably be involved.
Oh, 100%. And like somebody in the comments, Laura Williams, thank you, had even said that there have been numerous drag queen performers that come out and said children do not belong at our shows.
Right.
And I respect them for that. Those are the ones that I can tolerate. I can believe in your 100%. The ones I do not tolerate, I would never tolerate, are these child targeters. This is disgusting.
Yeah, I think we've seen it already with that one that was hired by the state to go to a school who was found guilty of child pornography.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, remember that one.
That's
It's
not out of the
disgusting.
realm of possibility when you bring somebody in to sexualize kids that they're going to be a pervert themselves.
Or they're too busy investigating parents at these school board meetings, accusing them of being domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
Like, this is nuts to me. This is disgusting.
I think it's a good question to figure out how do you combat something like that, because again, once a parent is all in on drag shows and take their kids to drag and being about open love and all that stuff, then
if you go, and I don't want
as
to show you the
as
videos.
a bystander, I think there's only so much you can do. I don't think
these are liberals, though. These are the filth.
I just don't think
This is
violence is going to
filth.
help anything in that aspect of it. Like
I think it will.
they could go up and they can arm up, and
Oh, I think it will. I 100% think it will.
you're not going to change anybody's mind going in there and like
You're not going to change their mind as it is, though.
yeah.
You're
So,
dealing with
it's
insane people. The only way to get rid of insane people is you kill them. That's the only way. I hate to say this. I'm being serious about this because we saw the same in the Middle East. You cannot negotiate with a terrorist. You're not going to sit there and try and change the mind of a Taliban person. We tried for 20 years.
Not unless they still like when they start to bring that shit into schools and they want to start like
which they're trying to do.
Yeah, when they start to push on that, then I think everybody has it well within their right to stand up and say no, that's out of bounds. Not whatever you do on your free time, that's on your free time. Okay, just like I don't want you to come over to my house telling me how to pray, what I'm teaching my kids or anything like.
Yeah.
So, two different things. Obviously, I'm not going to agree with private drag shows, but when you start to bring it into the school, then we could have a different conversation. But I just don't think you're going to go over there and
no, wait a minute,
arm
though.
up and
No,
like
hold
start
on.
a fight.
No, hold on. So let's take this a step further. So you're saying that what if it's a private event where they are actually having sex with children?
Yeah, that's illegal. Then obviously it's illegal.
What about exposing a child to pornography?
I think it should be illegal. If
What
that's
about-
what's
what
going
about
on.
adult
Is it
male
illegal?
nudity? Yeah, it should be. It's
If
got
it
to be
isn't,
illegal. Yeah.
Then I would say that CPS should probably go
I
in
agree.
there and take care of things.
But they're not, and that's the problem.
what the
Yeah.
law enforcement is for. It's not for private citizens to go over there and start, poking around and be like, what cops should do is walk in there and say, yeah, we just heard there's some salacious things going on here. I'd like to take a look around like cops normally do,
But
right?
they're not. That's the problem. So
Well,
when they're
it-
not, it's up to the community.
Well, people could call in, make complaints.
That ain't doing anything. I'm telling you, dude, I know where you're coming from, and I wish it was that easy. It ain't going to happen that way.
Let's just,
And we're going to watch. We'll see what happens. But I mean, the fact that this happened in a town in Texas.
I seriously
that's
think they're trying to
mind-blowing to
they're making a push to make Texas
Blue.
turn it blue.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I think Governor Abbott really needs to do his due diligence as
I think
far
Abbott
as
should get
making
involved in that.
voting security is up to par.
I think they should yank their liquor license.
They
The
should.
fact that you had children at a distillery, isn't that illegal? Wait, isn't that illegal? You're not allowed to bring a child to a distillery, are you?
I don't think so.
Because you can't bring a child into a bar.
Again, that would be a really good question for your cop buddies too.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I don't know. It's disgusting. But this is what happens. And again, this is good versus evil. These people are these are demonic people.
you'd think this would be really in the police department's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
To go over there and be like,
Yeah.
these are the same people who are wanting to fund you.
Yeah.
You know, go over there, kick the tires, see what's happening.
Yeah.
Make sure there's no illegal activity going on.
I think you're definitely well within your right of saying, hey, we have some probable cause here, because when we see children outside of a bar and you see grown people dressed inappropriately, I mean, come on, man.
Is that legal for somebody to post up in a sniper position?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah. Because here's the thing. What makes
I could go up on my roof and just sit up there with a sniper rifle and just...
You're not shooting anybody.
Move it around the neighborhood. But somebody's... obviously going to probably call the cops.
Oh,
absolutely. Like, hey, there's a guy up on his roof with a sniper rifle. You might want to check it out. So they're going to come out and see.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would they'd be justified in doing so. It's like, why are you on this roof? Like, what are you about to do? But at the same token, you standing there with a gun on top of a roof, yeah, is it suspect? Absolutely it is. Yeah, let's not play stupid, but you're still well within your right to do it. Yeah.
Another open door to go over and be like, hey, guys, what's going on? And
true.
be like, are they doing a child drag show in there?
Yeah.
Kids? I'm going to have to shut this down because that's illegal. Right? Yeah.
I just think it's disgusting, and the fact that they're trying to justify this, it's crazy to me.
What town was it?
Roanoke.
That's not too far.
Is it close to here? They said it's northern Texas.
Yeah, that's not too far from here.
How far?
Maybe like an hour or something like that.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's not far.
I can't believe that. The Interior Ministry of the terrorist government of the Taliban advertised a news conference on Sunday the development of an armed forces wing dedicated to suicide bombing the martyrdom brigades, calling the bombers our source of pride. The Interior Ministry praised the would-be suicide bombers on the same day the Taliban Defense Ministry accused Pakistan of allowing American drones to fly out of its skies to conduct operations within Afghanistan, condemning the measure. A notable accusation in the aftermath of an American drone strike killing Ayman al-Zawahiri, an elderly head of al-Qaeda in Kabul in early August. Here we go. Taliban jihadists who have for decades maintained cozy relations with al-Qaeda have denied having any evidence of Zawahiri was in Afghanistan and claimed they have yet to find his body. I mean, come on. You gotta love this. Could this podcast be any more boring? Well, then why are you watching on YouTube, loser? Where's your podcast? You don't have one. Bye. Taliban jihadists began their rule by promising the world that their return to power would be more inclusive than the regime they wow. You're still suppressing women, dude. We're not gonna be that misogynistic, but you know.
Like 80,
we're gonna be a little bit more inclusive.
80-20, like 80-20.
80-20, yeah. We're gonna let them take, we're gonna let them take quartermaster position. No, we're not even gonna let them do that. That's so funny.
Okay, you can bring the master just below your nose.
This is something I would never thought I'd ever read. The Catholic League, white liberals are the real white supremacists. Jesus. Catholic League President Bill Donahue said Monday that white liberals qualify as the worst of white supremacists because they don't believe blacks have the ability to raise themselves up by themselves. In this way, white liberals express a deep belief in the inherent inferiority of blacks, Dr. Donahue wrote. While right-wing white supremacists are too few to really matter, the nation teems with well-educated white liberals who have become the real white supremacists, he declared. Listen to this. This is good. Liberals, he continued, have given up on the equal opportunity and have given up on blacks, which explains why they are constantly dreaming up ways to mandate equality. As a case in point, Donahue asserted that the interim report by the California Task Force to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans is the most comprehensive summary of liberal white supremacy available. Among its paternalistic proposals, the interim report seeks to exonerate black deadbeat dads for all past due child support, Donahue observed, which constitutes a big win for irresponsible black men and a big loss for black women. All blacks in California should be allowed to send their children to any college free of charge, the report proposes, along with eliminating punishing for black males with disciplinary problems. Regardless of income, all blacks should be entitled to free health care to be funded by taxpayers, the report insists. This program is a textbook example of the way well-educated white liberals think about blacks, Donahue wrote. He is 100% correct here. 100% correct. Mm-hmm. The paternalism is race in intent and effect, reflecting the kind of thinking that assumes blacks are inherently inferior and cannot succeed without benign intervention of whitey, he concluded. Bro, nail on the head. Nail on the head there. Imagine thinking that they can't do it without you. You have to, man, and imagine thinking that black people should have access to school, free school. What? What? You want to talk about just, oh my God.
Huh.
That's nuts to me.
It really is.
That's nuts.
You know, we were talking last week about how black people were paying more in student loans.
Mm-hmm. So that's what they were claiming.
That's what they're claiming.
Yeah.
And let's say that's true. Let's say they are paying more for student loans, but you have to go back to the. I was talking to a buddy of mine. He brought up a good point that you know, some of these people get into colleges not on their own merit, but because of their skin color.
Yeah,
and that kind of does them a disservice because they get into these colleges where there's a lot required of them academically, and because their skill set might be better suited for another college and not this particular college, that they have to keep taking courses over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a pretty good point.
It's also another example of why federal involvement only is going to help increase the cost of tuition.
Right. So here they might thrive at University A. Here they go to University B, where, you know, somebody else should have gotten their spot.
Yeah.
And they do poorly.
I agree.
So they're not doing anybody.
It's the same reason why a lot of these colleges, I shouldn't say a lot, but some colleges basically are going after Asian community because they are dominating the academia field because their culture is so devout towards, you know, you are going to study, you're going to make something.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you remember that he was an Asian gentleman. He was the Navy SEAL, doctor, and astronaut. Did you see that meme a long time ago? Or maybe not that long, but he was literally, there's an Asian dude, I forget his name, and he made the rounds all over the internet. He talked about, or the meme is basically, and it's real. He was a doctor, he's an astronaut, and he was a Navy SEAL. This guy is a fucking badass. I think he went on Joe Rogan's show, and that guy is miserable. He was like, he basically, I shouldn't say miserable, he's like, his family pushed him hard. And basically, like, you kind of like feel bad for the guy. It's like you've accomplished a lot because your parents pushed you to do it. Like hardcore. Go watch the episode. It's really good. I watched a few clips on what he was talking about.
He's on Rogan?
Yeah. Because everybody was like, dude, because I've seen the meme. And it's this guy in various different roles. And like, oh my God. Talking, you know, and the funny part about it was like, and his Asian parents are still not satisfied. He's like, he's still not good enough for them. It's like, oh, so you're a doctor, astronaut, Navy SEAL. Your uncle make more than you. And it's like, his name is Johnny Kim. Is it Johnny? Okay.
When are you going to law school?
Yeah, but this dude, it's like, my God, dude, you've accomplished that's like, you're in the top 1%, if not, you're the top tier.
Figure if you like just
Bro,
focus
astronaut,
on
Navy
one
SEAL,
thing,
doctor, holy fuck.
you probably figure out a cure for cancer.
Oh my God, yeah.
Just focus on one thing.
Put this guy in the White House, my God.
I get it, yeah.
Yeah. But it served a point that you would think this guy is like top tier, like emotionally, and from what he was describing, is like, he's not happy. I was like, bro, that sucks. That sucks. But he's accomplished so much. It's just weird. That made me think about it. Multimillionaire pop singer that's black screams about something. Just a fat fuck, whatever. Okay, Joe Rogan says he would tell people outraged by COVID-19 restrictions to vote Republican. Rogan said he hoped that there were lessons learned. Joe Rogan, joined by Green Bay Packer Andrew quarterback Aaron Rodgers, said that he would tell those who lost business due to COVID-19 restrictions to vote Republican on Saturday's episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. Republicans were equally as guilty. What are you talking about? Greg Abbott shut Texas down.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest here. This was not
the ratio from Republican to, I mean,
after the fact.
It favors Republicans.
Yeah, after
it still
the fact.
does. It still favors. You still have, like, California, are they still talking about bringing masks back?
Yeah.
Are they still doing it now?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine living in some of these states, but
yeah.
I think, you know, he's right. I think a lot of these states shut down, except for Kristi Noem, prematurely.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
Wait, no, Florida shut down, didn't they?
Florida did too.
Yeah, DeSantis shut down Florida. People are saying he didn't, but he opened them up earlier. But yeah, he still shut them down.
Yeah, I think we went there that summer of 2020.
Yeah, for the 4th of July thing.
And it was.
We'll never do that again.
It wasn't just that. It was. I went there on vacation to Destin.
Okay.
So it was.
No, when did we go to the 4th of July?
It was last year. Yeah, it was 2021.
Yeah, and that was a big bust. We lost money on that. We had a we had a booth out there at the Fit Expo hosted by Europa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a total bust. Like, there was nobody there because everybody's out on the beach for 4th of July. Yeah. It's like, wait, you're hosting a bodybuilding event and fitness expo on the 4th of July weekend? People don't want to give a fuck about this. They want to go party on the beach.
I know.
So, yeah, we lost a lot of money on that. I was like, we're never doing that again. So, and that Europa is just trash now. It's not worth going to. It's certainly not worth having a booth.
But even still, the events and everything, you were not, it was just like,
yeah, they didn't do masks.
you have to wear a mask. You have to worry about going in any place. Everybody castling you. So that was a good thing about Florida. And, Texas took a while to get back. Because I think you have, at least in the city, a lot of liberals to where they would have their sign,
Yeah, oh God.
Wear a mask. I'm like, dude,
some people in the chat are saying the floor was only shut down for like 15 days and that they weren't fully shut down. Yeah. Maybe I got that wrong. If not, good for them. Good for DeSantis. But yeah, Rogan says, I hope there's lessons learned in this, Rogan said, because this is a new thing. We had never had this before. No one who is alive today had ever experienced a true pandemic. I still don't think we have. I don't think that was a pandemic. I really don't. No. And I'm not saying that with some kind of political bias. I really don't think that was one.
No, I don't either.
Not to the extent, or maybe it was a pandemic, but it wasn't as lethal as they made it out to be. I really don't think so. Nope. And I'm sad to say that we're fucked as a society because the government, I feel like they fabricated a lot of numbers. I think the CDC fabricated a lot of shit. The WHO certainly did.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know, man. I
don't believe them at all.
Yeah, that's weird to me. But
yeah, it was just a bad flu season.
Yeah.
I mean, because during the swine flu, it was the same thing, right? Easily transmissible.
Yeah.
Highly lethal, supposedly.
Yeah.
But it eventually burned itself out.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about it. And they said it was probably the worst handling of a flu or a virus in the history of America. And it was Joe Biden who led that up. And they talked about it.
No, a lot of that had to do with Trump.
No, I'm talking about the swine flu.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you were talking about COVID. My bad.
No, because they said that they did a panel afterwards, and they were like, yeah, anything that you could have done wrong, we did it. And somehow we lucked out and got through it.
It's almost like Fauci's mishandling of the AIDS, HIV epidemic. I mean, come on, man. In the 80s, and you still had this dude. I'm at a loss for that. But nobody really knew who Fauci was.
That was a big shocker when I
right? I
Jesus,
didn't know
man,
that.
listen to this guy talking about homosexuals and how they could just touch somebody to give them AIDS.
And that was AIDS was airborne, HIV was airborne.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, oh my God. And we have the same dude.
We have the same
dude handling the COVID one. It's like, wait, if you in the government world, in my mind, this is me thinking out loud. Yeah. If you have one shot at it and you fuck it up, you're fired. That's all there is to it. Like, you're not going to bring your car to a mechanic and then they fuck it up and you're going to bring it back.
No, he stayed on for 35 more years.
And this guy's going to get a retirement of $450,000 a year for the rest of his life. What the fuck?
That's one guy I'd love to spit right in his face.
I'd love to fucking kick him in the nuts. But, yeah. And that's the thing. This was gain-of-function research that the email leaks proved. We paid them a $400,000 grant in Wuhan to research this. We were the causation. America has a lot to blame on that. But why did it get out? And I know this is conspiracy theory based, but again, what was happening in Hong Kong right before the outbreak of COVID? Yeah. A protest. They were on the verge of a revolution. I remember that. Like, they were calling on Trump.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus.
I think it was a perfect storm for the release of the Chinese virus. I'll never call it anything else. It's the Chinese virus.
The Chinese virus, yeah.
They came out of China.
Yeah. Yep. Well, last but most certainly not least, Bros star Billy Eichner smears Clarence Thomas and all the homophobes on the Supreme Court in the MTV VMAs tirade. Oh, no. And the reason I wanted to bring this up, normally I don't give a fuck what these little douchebags have to say because they're a bunch of fucking Hollywood elites, but whatever. But this is the exact reason why a lot of the LGB is losing popularity and losing allies because of dudes like this that want to come out there. And if somebody disagrees with you on your abortion stance, then suddenly you're a homophobe. Suddenly you're this. Well, you're creating it. You're creating homophobia, and it's not even phobia. It's the fact they don't like you. Yeah. It's like, we're not afraid of you. We just don't like you because you're a bunch of sanctimonious douchebags. So fuck you. That's the way I feel about it. That's kind of like, I have a lot of gay friends, and and there's a lot of gay people coming out and saying, we don't support the LGBT organization. They're bullshit. It's just the same way like with black people in the BLM saying, I don't support it. It's like, those guys are corrupt. And again, when you have organizations that scale to that magnitude, look at the GOP, look at the DNC, which once started as something good. Look at most unions. What started as good eventually just succumbs to essentially corruption. And you see it with the LGB. So you have these douchebags that want to sit there and they want to lecture the American people at a TV show that is widely watched only by the left. Like when was the last time any of you watched like the MTV Music Video Awards?
I didn't even know they're still on.
MTV VMA, excuse me. I don't watch that shit. Like
I don't know. Who's still watching it?
Who watched this? Yeah. So
they
it's
have to
like
pay people to come and sit in those seats?
Bro, the ratings are horrible. They've got to be horrible. Nobody watches the Oscars because it's just nothing but virtue signaling and sanctimonious bullshit. It's like, shut the fuck up.
What was the one where Will Smith slapped Chris Rock?
I have no... was that the Oscars? No, that wasn't the Oscars. That was... fuck, I forgot.
I can't remember, but that was probably the best.
That's probably why they did that, so they can get their ratings up, so people will watch it again in hopes that'll happen again.
That's the best thing that I've seen in a long time.
Oh my God, Moose Simpsons. The last time I watched MTV, Eminem was #1 on the TRL. Dude, that's old. You're old. All right, that concludes today's segment of the All American Savage Show podcast. Again, hey, if you haven't checked us out, go look at Shell Shock CBD. Really appreciate the love and support over there, guys. We have some great deals coming out for you this coming September, which is right around the corner. We're going to basically, I think, do we agree on this? For the entire month of September, any sale over $50 gets a free coffee cup. Mm-hmm. So you see this amazing cup here, the Shell Shock logo with the bomb on the back, ceramic. It's great quality. Anybody that orders $50 or more for the entire month of September gets a free coffee cup while supplies last. Once we're out, we're out. We might do a reorder. We'll see. Yep. You can check that out, and we appreciate it. Help us out. Share the podcast, folks. We don't charge. There's no paywall. This content is free. You know, we do our own shout outs and our own ads for our own company. But outside of that, you get this all for free. So Josh and I spend our time discussing this, opinions. We're not experts. We just love talking about this shit. So if you can, share the podcast, share it on your social medias. Guys, it really helps us out a lot. You're doing us a favor. Help us grow our audience, our mouth. It helps us make more sales. That's what we're trying to do, because right now we're combating inflation and a recession, and it's definitely showing right now. So until then, don't forget to check us out on all social medias, and we're streaming on Rumble as well. So until tomorrow, you got anything to add, my man?
You guys have a great day.
And as always, you stay savage, America.